Alright, today we're going to be taking a look at a weirdo who just apparently drugs her mom in order to go outside. Now, honestly, just even saying that already is one of the most ridiculous things that I think I've ever said in any video here on YouTube. Out of the hundreds, if not thousands of videos I've made at this point, I've never seen something so ridiculous and just outlandish, just crazy. I don't even know whether or not I should be surprised. I mean, I just see some crazy things out here on Twitter, man. I don't know what it is, but especially recently, bro. The things showing up on Twitter have just baffled me and confused me in ways that I can't even explain. Now, this is a video I've been kind of letting marinate for a few days at this point, right? You know, just kind of letting it sit on the back burner and do its thing and whatnot. But now I feel like I'm finally ready to drop this one. So, yeah, this girl decided to post out on Twitter basically a video of her arguing with her family about the fact that she was apparently like drugging her parents so that she would fall asleep and then she could go out basically and do a bunch of stuff at night. You know, what she was doing, I can only assume. I can't really tell you guys for sure what's going on and whatnot, but I think we all know she was probably out here getting her guts rearranged or something, I don't know, man. But she basically tweeted out, "Let's settle this by popular vote," because the word popular is very hard to type. "Y'all ever crush sleeping pills in your parents' drinks so you can sneak out at night? I want to prove to them that this is a thing." Well, before we even get started, I want to just go ahead and make my point clear. This is not a thing. I don't know anybody who has, well, at least admitted to doing something like this. I would like to imagine that nobody I know would drug their parents into falling asleep so they could sneak out of the house. I mean, that's just, not only is it criminal, it's ridiculous. And you should be ashamed of yourself for even considering the fact of doing something like this. But yeah, with that being said, we can just go ahead and jump right on into this one.
I never drug mommy. I used to just put crush Tylenol PM in her drink so she could sleep.
You should have been in prison already. That's drugging somebody.
That's not drugging somebody.
You should be in jail.
Alright, so you can see how the crowd here is reacting already. I'm assuming these are like her brothers or her cousins or something like that. I'm not necessarily sure. They're definitely against the fact and they think that it's drugging. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that she does not believe that she's been drugging her mother or whatever here. And I'm here to just go ahead and explain to you, if you're watching this video, probably not, but yes, you are actually drugging your mother, and it's very wrong for you to be doing so. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the definition of drugged. Administer a drug to someone in order to induce stupor or insensibility, or add a drug to food or drink. So, I don't know, if you're going, "Hey mom, you want a glass of water," okay, and you give her a glass of water, right? If you've crushed up Tylenol PM in there to make her fall asleep so that you can leave the house, that is fucking drugging somebody, okay? You don't have to roofie someone for it to be drugging them. If you gave somebody a brownie, okay, and they're like, "Oh, wow, delicious brownie, fella," and it had a bunch of pot in it, you're fucking drugging somebody still. Of course, you're not Bill Cosbying them, right, you know? But drugging doesn't have to necessarily be like a roofie in the cup or something like that. So yes, by definition, and by what you have admitted to doing, you have been drugging your mother.
You fucking bitch. You drugged our mother.
Actually, it's not drugging her
How is that drugging her? She
because
doesn't
she
know
would buy it. She
doesn't know she's taking that medication. That's drugging
Jennifer
someone.
told me one time she put up to 6 in there. That's fucking dangerous.
Okay, so, yeah, none of them seem to be in agreement with what's going on here, and I gotta agree with the dude here in the middle, right? Putting 6 Tylenol PMs in someone's drink is definitely fucking dangerous. I mean, well, let's go ahead and look up the active ingredient in some Tylenol PM, because that's how medication works. There's 2 major primary active ingredients in Tylenol PM, one of them being acetaminophen, which is essentially just the brand name Tylenol. You probably have taken this in your lifetime, which, if you take too much of that, can cause an upset stomach. It can create abdominal pain. It can put you into a fucking coma. You can have seizures. You can have diarrhea. It can cause jaundice, which is like when, you know, your skin turns yellow or like the whites of your eyes turn yellow. It's very serious. It can cause a lot of damage to your organs. It's not like this is a fucking game, you know? You're not playing around. This is not a joke. And the other big active ingredient is diphenhydramine, which is essentially just Benadryl, which can cause irregular heartbeats. It can cause painful or even difficult urination. It can even get to the point where you can't urinate, which is obviously how you excrete a lot of the waste in your body. It can create confusion. It can tighten up the muscles in your neck and your jaw. It can cause constipation and blurred vision. I mean, these aren't things you play around with. I understand that people seem to think, well, at least some people seem to think, that just because it's like an over-the-counter medication that it can't hurt you that bad. These are not fucking candy. You can't just be popping these like they're pieces of candy, man. And you especially essentially don't give a whole bunch of them to somebody in order to knock them out so you can go hang out and have fun. And a lot of medications also, if someone has been drinking alcohol, can create God knows what kind of side effects. I mean, this shit can kill people. Even if they're not drinking alcohol, this could have been deadly. This could have killed her mother. And she seems to think that this is normal behavior and this is something that people should like accept and understand or something. I don't fucking understand this, and I don't think that this is an acceptable thing to do. I mean, I think it's very selfish to put someone's life and health in risk just so you can essentially go out and do whatever. And the fact being that it's your own mother, I think makes it even worse.
Did she die from that?
At that time.
Yeah, see, this is the kind of shit that, you know, confuses me. Did she die? No, she didn't die. But just because someone doesn't die from the medication overdose that you have basically handed them without their knowledge, doesn't mean that you haven't caused permanent damage to their kidney or their stomach lining or anything like that. Shit like this can create bleeding ulcers in people's stomach and cause internal bleeding and fuck them all kinds of up. So yeah, maybe you didn't kill her, but you could have caused irreversible damage to her body, which is extremely fucking selfish and stupid, and you should be, once again, very ashamed of yourself. And God knows how many times this has happened. I mean, this is only basically one time that she's really openly admitting to doing it. For all we know, she could have done this dozens of times, and if that's the case, then holy shit. The amount of trouble that the mother of this whole thing could have, you know, the pain that she could actually be in, not knowing that she could even have any fucking effects on her body because, well, she doesn't essentially know she's being drugged. God only knows.
You were drugging her. You're a criminal.
Who else knows what you did with her backside, Jennifer? God damn it.
I mean, they're all laughing about it, but in all reality, it's not really that funny, you know what I'm saying? I mean, once again, this can be a very serious situation, and no one may even know about it, right? She could actually have a lot of permanent damage to her body and not even have any idea that it's happened. But I mean, what kind of person drugs their own mother? Regardless, right? I mean, whatever, right? You want to go out and do things, and your mom's probably not going to be cool with you leaving the house, you know, later on in the night and whatnot. I completely understand that, and in reality, it's very reasonable for your parent to not want you doing that kind of stuff. But you don't settle shit like that by committing a crime and drugging them and potentially hurting them. Like, either she doesn't have any idea about what she's done, like she doesn't realize the consequences that this could have, or she simply just doesn't give a shit about the health of her own mother and she's just willing to put it on the line in order for a dick appointment or something, right? I mean, come on now. Now, obviously, this tweet got some backlash, right? Because any normal functioning human being would not do or condone doing any of this. And when the person who uploaded this video and admitted all this essentially saw that in her quest to try and normalize doing this and trying to, I guess, find other people who drug their parents, she basically got a bunch of backlash and everyone called her an idiot and called her weird because this is not normal behavior. Nobody really does this to their parents, and it just isn't morally correct whatsoever. Now, when this happened, a very interesting side of this person came out because they decided to respond to the hate or whatever and say, tweet muted. I made y'all so mad, you sensitive fucks. Now, with that, right, once again, she was trying to find allies in this fight, right? Like, she was trying to make it seem normal to do this kind of behavior when she tweeted all this out. She wanted everybody to be on her side. However, when it backfired and nobody was really on her side on this one except for maybe a couple other freaks who just are complete horrible people, then all of a sudden everyone's a sensitive fuck and she made them so mad. I think the only people you really made mad was perhaps your family when, you know, your mom probably saw the video where you admitted to drugging her. And I can't imagine how that went for you when that hopefully happened. Can't imagine she thought that that was the coolest thing on planet Earth, but I just find that interesting, right? You know, I made y'all so mad, you sensitive fucks, because I drugged my mom so I could leave the house and admitted to it, and now nobody agrees with my behavior. That equals making people so mad. Now, of course, a lot of people were definitely upset seeing this because most of us, you know, we could never imagine doing something like this to our mom because we're not animals, right? You know, we don't just do shit like this to please ourselves, right? It's ridiculous to even have to conjure that up in your head, right? I mean, come on now. So a very quick 180 in behavior, but something even more interesting about this, right? You know, she made us so mad, tweet muted. She's completely silencing the haters on this one, fellas. Drugging your mom, not bad. She's normalizing it. She's creating the wave, fellas. But not even a week before this, this girl tweeted, and I quote, "Don't tweet dumb shit and be like, tweet muted. I'ma act a fool on your pinned tweet." Now, obviously, she was completely shit on for this because, well, she tweeted some dumb shit where she essentially admitted to committing a crime in order to get her mom to fall asleep so she could leave. And then she tweeted, tweet muted under it, right? So everyone is now acting a fool on her pinned tweet because she has made a complete ass out of herself. I mean, poetic justice in a way. I think that situations like this don't write themselves even close to as good as the Twitter gods could write them, man. I feel like that there has to be like a god of Twitter that creates these situations for us. I can't imagine that there's human beings out there who just that do this shit, right? The fools of Twitter, right? I don't know, maybe I'm wrong and this is just me not realizing something. That's totally possible. But throughout this whole ordeal, the one person that I really feel bad for is the mother, right? I mean, I think I would feel pretty shitty, right? If I, had a kid and I carried it for 9 months. I pooped this kid out or whatever happens when a baby's born, I don't know, they fall out and roll on the floor and whatnot. I have no clue, right? And then you raise it for however many years of its life. And then it turns out that all that time was for naught. Because essentially it grew up to just drug you and put your health and life in risk so that you can just go out and have fun. No fucks given about your health and your well-being as long as they get to go hang out in Midnight Bowl or something stupid, right? Just absolute shit. I mean, let's be honest. How do you think they would react if this killed her mother? How do you think she would feel if her drugging her mom like this resulted in her dying? Fellas, I'm gonna have to assume she would be pretty upset and remorseful for that, but, now that she's alive and potentially has permanent damage, it's still okay. But with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. Thank you to my channel members. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus. Not drugging his parents because, well, I'm not a piece of shit. And signing out.